What's good, everyone? It's your boy Kwame from Kwame's Watchlist, and you're on another episode of the Afterwatch, where I go watch the latest movies, grab a moviegoer, and we will sit down and debrief about everything we've just seen. Now, today, we've gone to see Projecgt Hail Mary, and I've brought a very special guest, somebody, again, who's known me for a very long time. It's been a long time coming, but...
Way overdue.
Yeah, very well overdue. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much more. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hi guys, I'm Toni, and I've known Kwame for a long time. What else to say? So I work in TV as a camera operator, so I've always had film, TV, photography as a background, and yeah, it's just something I really love, and I love watching films. I love a lot of TV shows, so for me this was just right up my street.
Yeah, no brainer. So if the camera quality looks good, this is the reason why. Yeah, you know, it's been a bit janky of late. I'm learning, but if this one looks good, he's the reason why. All right, Toni, so first question is the same as every time I do it. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, this is a big question, you know.
And
there's too many films out there.
This is a judgment-free space. The only person who's going to judge you really is me, but it's fine.
Okay, cool. I've got two favorite films.
Okay.
And I think my two favorite films and same director.
Okay,
Same director, okay. So it depends. I've got one film I can watch anytime.
Okay.
And I've got one film where just, I think the first time I watched it, just experience from that, I was like, wow.
Okay, cool.
And, you know, but I would say my favorite film would be, it's a Chris Nolan film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Let me not guess. Tell the people, okay. Tell the people.
I know you're going to get one. You're definitely going to get one. I would say my favorite film is The Prestige.
You know, that's the only Nolan film I'm yet to see. I'm ashamed.
You need to watch
I am
that.
ashamed. I know.
You need to watch that.
Allow me, but yeah.
So The Dark Knight was the second one.
Okay, that's what I thought it was going to be.
For so many reasons. I think there's so many layers to that film I love. But with The Prestige, I think I didn't watch it too often because there's a big moment that when you see that, you can't watch it with the same experience again.
Okay.
You know, whereas with The Dark Knight, you can watch it. Oh, gosh, I've lost count how many times I've seen that film. You know.
Okay, yeah. Fair. I like it. Two Nolan movies. You're the first person that said The Prestige as well. So
yeah.
I thought I'll be vulnerable too and share the fact that I'm ashamed I haven't seen it.
You need to watch it.
That's on my list.
You know when you do watch it.
Yeah. I'll bring you back here. We'll talk about it. But okay, cool. This movie, Projecgt Hail Mary.
Okay.
What were your expectations about it going in, if any?
Yeah.
And did you have any pre-existing knowledge about the content?
I didn't have much knowledge about it, I'll be honest with you. I think I saw the trailer and I thought, this is giving Interstellar. That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
You know, I was given a bit of The Martian, which I eventually found out was the same writer who did The Martian and wrote this as well. But I came in with not a lot of expectation, to be honest with you. I think I only heard about the film when it was around the Super Bowl when Ryan Gosling had that like a
spot or something.
He basically threw a helm.
Yeah.
What's this film about? But I think no, didn't come in with a lot of expectations.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be visually stunning.
Yeah.
I think from the trailer, I got a feeling of it's going to be a bit emotional.
Okay.
But that was about it. Yeah. And I'm glad I came in without a lot of expectation. Because I think with films, sometimes you want to go in all the knowledge, all the spoilers and all of that, especially if you've read the books, you know. But I think with this, I'm glad I came in just clean,
fresh. Yeah, same
slate.
Same. Seen the trailers. I know there was like an early screening maybe a week or two ago, and people came out of that very, very excited about that movie. So there was like a small weight of expectation for me going in, but aside from that, I had absolutely no idea, no clue, no nothing about this movie. So okay, so we're kind of on the same page. Okay, cool. So obviously we've been at the cinema now.
Yeah.
Fresh reactions. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was good, you know. I thought it was good. I can't lie, it was a bit long. And I think it was when we came out of the cinema and I thought...
Yeah, we've been in there for a while.
We've been there for a while, but...
Did it feel it though?
It didn't feel that long when we were in there. It's only when we came out I realized the time.
Yeah.
But overall thoughts, I thought it was really good. It was shot well.
Yes, beautiful.
And as a camera operator, like there's a lot, when I go into films, I have to think about these things. I think there are a few shots they use it's like a dot roll with the camera where you're starting at a very peculiar angle and you're not necessarily starting dead on. And as the shot's going, you can just see the camera slowly getting into, and I think it's kind of telling you a story, especially in space. You know, you're looking at the movement in space, and I mean, I'll get into more the depths of the characters and stuff, but I think for me, it just, how do I explain this? I think there was a part of me when I was watching it, I was hoping, you know, there's a lot of physics they talk about, like a bit of chemistry and stuff, you know, when it has to do with space. And, you know, and I was a bit worried I might not be able to keep up with this.
Yeah, it wasn't very technical, this movie.
But I felt like you could see the way the story was going. You know, it touches on so many aspects of life. It touches on friendships. It touches on, you know, sacrifice. It touches on even communication. You know, I'm sure I could get into spoilers and stuff, but certain aspects of like the alien character, Rocky, for instance, and you know, you've got these two people from two different worlds, and it's like, how do we communicate across? How do we trust each other? So, yeah, I think I really enjoyed it.
I feel like a lot of our conversations are going to be me agreeing with you, because essentially, like I felt exactly the same. Like it touched on a lot. It's absolutely stunning. Like there's certain moments in this movie, like it's just beautiful to look at. And I think the point you made about it not being too technical, like it's a very accessible movie. Like you don't have to worry about keeping up with all of the technical stuff, all the science jargon, all of this, all of that. It's just, you can just enjoy the story, and there's stuff in there that's laid in there for the sake of the story, but it's not so heavy on that. It can be quite distracting.
I'm thinking about Interstellar, for instance. Chris Nolan, big fan of his work, but I think with that film, I didn't fully grasp the film until the second time I had to watch it. I think the first time I was like, oh, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of time jumping. I was a bit confused, where with this, you could follow that. And even with this, you do get a bit of flashbacks, essentially. You know, you get flashbacks of how he eventually he got assigned to this mission, really. And I think you're able to follow that through thoroughly. And he goes all the way to almost towards the end of the film. And I did enjoy that, where I felt I could keep the pace of what is going on, and it felt warm. That's the thing with some of these films, you know, you're in space and everything, but I think it just, the film felt warm, from especially with, I mean, we could talk about his performance exactly, how he's basically in this scene with an alien character and how he navigates through that.
No, I hear it. Look, was there a moment where you were like fully locked in?
Oh, I think it was once they got to the bridge because from the trailer you could see, okay, it's about these two characters, really. They're trying to save their worlds, essentially. You know, they have their missions and they're both lost in space, essentially, and they come together as a team, work together, despite the communication barriers or even the physical boundaries of their characters, and how they couldn't actually work together. But I think I got locked in. It was somewhere roughly in the middle of the film when you can see, okay, these two have found a means of like understanding each other. And I think they've done a brilliant way of like showing how Rocky was able to communicate with what's his name again? Grace.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. And I think that was the moment I was like, okay, we're onto something.
Yeah. No, because I think you're right. That's where the film really gets going. Like, there's a lot of, and it's not even a bad thing, but there's a lot of backstory. Like, and I think the first half, or first, let's say, third of the film, it's really focused on him figuring out who he is and why he's there. And it does a really excellent job of establishing the loneliness, the vastness of it all, but also in a really light-hearted way as well, right? Because like there's that moment where he's just woken up and he's scanning through the map and he's swiping. It literally is like when I'm trying to find my date of birth on a form, and I'm just going mad far. That hurts my soul a little bit. But even so, like, even that moment was so light-hearted, but it really conveyed the depths of how far he was from everything.
From existence, really. And I think even just, like, touching on what you said, there was a lot of humor in the film, and I think it worked when it needed to work. like it brought the feelings when he needed to be there, but also, and it comes with his personality as a character, and you know, and I think it just worked so nicely and smoothly that it needed to be funny when he needed to be, and even at the start, before he's in space, you know, while he's talking to the lady who assigned him on this, and you know, there are just little moments where you thought, oh, this is different. Like normally that officer as a person, they're quite serious and they're quite, but there are a few bits where she too was like, I'm trying to remember, there was one joke she made and I was like, this is different. Yeah. Like you might die. Like, you know,
And you're completely right. And because she was still very stern, very direct, but it had a really great way of showing us when her guard is being lowered a little bit, and in turn his guard starts to lower as well. Like, and I think also because I think you touched on this earlier, because the way this film depicts friendships and things, not just with Rocky and Grace, like that's obviously the crux of the film, but I think his dynamic with the German lady was really interesting. Especially, she was the person who found him, believed in him, gave him an opportunity to prove to himself, essentially, that his ideas and everything has value. So seeing their dynamic really progress before he goes to space was like the first instance of us seeing him start to form some kind of attachment to somebody, and then we're back in space, and he eventually gets to, of course, to meet in Rocky. But yeah, on that note about kind of its depiction of friendships, like what was there anything about the way it was conveyed that really resonated with you, or not?
Oh no, there was a lot that I felt really touched me when I was in the relationship between Rocky and Grace. For instance, you've got this creature alien character who's like a sort of like a Rocky spider kind of look, and I think you're trying to see how these two, obviously they've never come across each other, like you've not come across an entity of that sort, you know, and how you communicate across, and you could sort of see the bond they start to have within each other. Like we're completely different people, but I'm trying to show you what certain words mean for me. Like when I'm like, oh, there was a period where they're trying to hug each other and it's like, and Rocky is like, what does that?
Why?
And that was like,
how long do we do this for?
Do you feel like you're done? And I think, no, there was a lot of stuff in there that I could see. And they're just essentially opening up to each other about different aspects of their lives and why they're even on the mission. And we even come to find out even further on into the story that Grace didn't really sign up to be on there.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. And I think, because obviously as we're watching the story progress and we're seeing more and more flashbacks, I think that's him remembering things in real time, right? So it was very much like really astounding to see him be betrayed by that woman. Do you know what I mean? And probably is part of the reason why he makes the decision that he does towards the end of the film when he realizes that his friend Rocky's in trouble. Right? So
he makes a big decision, and I think in terms of that, the relationship, what I thought was sacrifice, and there's so many instances of that where both of them to different, you know, without getting deep into the spoilers, I think from the start when I saw the trailer, I thought, someone's gonna die here.
I assume that too.
I was like, one of you, both of you are gonna die. I'm not even, I know this is free, you can spoil it ahead, but I'm not even gonna say that by what comes of this. But I think both of them show levels of sacrifice across the film. You know, there's a period where Rocky is like, I'm potentially gonna risk my life to save you.
No, potentially he did.
And vice versa. He is like, well, I'm gonna risk my life and not go back to Earth to save you. And when you see that, it makes you think of friendships. And I think even in the world we're living in now, if you want to take it to another level, just seeing these two people trying to do what they can to ultimately save their world.
Both of their worlds.
Both of them.
Well, all of their world, all the worlds essentially, because it's not just their stars that are suffering, right?
Oh gosh, So them coming together and saying, look, we will try and find a way to work to make sure you guys on Earth are good and you guys on, I can't remember his planet, are good as well.
Yeah, me neither.
That was just like so relatable in the world we're in now, where it seems like we're all trying to just destroy each other.
Yeah. It really was just two very smart people coming together to get a common goal, and like the danger of space was the adversary that they had to overcome. So we could really just focus on their relationship, and it felt really tangible as well. Like I think it was the moment he put a voice to the character, he was like, it was like the humanization of Rocky kind of was complete at that point. Right.
And it's bizarre because normally you get these, even the voice they chose, I think I don't even know who played the voice of Rocky.
Yeah,
but
that's interesting, actually.
You always kind of see that voice is very similar to what maybe you might get with like a robot and stuff. You know, you're thinking not Ultron, but you think of these.
Definitely not Ultron. Definitely not.
What's his name now? Vision. You sort of think of this friendly robot kind of thing, but you're looking at this character who just looks like a rock, essentially. It's almost like a kind of like a tree rock, earthy substance, and the voice they kind of used with it just made it feel more relatable. And like you said, initially you're hearing this thing talking with like signs and moving its like movements of like the arms and stuff, but when you actually have a voice tied in with what you're seeing, it just made it feel like a natural person. That was when I think, like this, what I was saying is that's the moment where I felt like, okay, cool, I'm locked in.
You're proper locked in.
I'm locked into this.
Point. You made a point about the film's use of humor and how, like, despite the vastness and danger of everything that he was dealing with, like, it really helped keep the tone light. Do you feel like the film would have fared better if they really leaned into some of the more emotional, almost depressing aspects of the loneliness that Grace was feeling? Because we didn't really get that from this movie.
I think there was a healthy balance.
Okay.
You can go one extreme or the other. I wouldn't call Interstellar a film that's just full of humor from start to finish.
Definitely not.
And I think with this, and I'm trying not to compare the two films. They're not exactly the same film. The same as The Martian.
No, definitely
not. I think there was a healthy balance where it needed to be funny when it needed to be funny. You know, there's certain moments like when he's just come out of like a coma, you know, and you're just like, what is going on here? Or even the interactions between the two. But I think it also played in emotions because he cried a lot. I was watching it a lot and I was thinking, this guy is crying a lot in this film. He's almost giving me a Caucasian Sterling K. Brown.
It's constant. And this is us. Just constant.
A lot of moments. So I thought, he's crying a lot. So I think it showed its emotions when it needed to, but I think it showed the humor and it made the film light when it needed to. And I think that helped make the film.
He definitely cried a lot, but there was like, it was thug tears. Do you know what I mean? Like,
just a little
one singular silent tear just dripping out. Like it worked. It worked, but it wasn't like he was completely like throwing up and snot everywhere, which I don't think.
Honestly, the film would have worked even if it didn't have a lot of humor in, and it was just diving into the emotions of being lonely and isolated, and you know, just with all the pressure and the weight of the world essentially on your hands of getting to the knowledge or the key of what's going on. It could have worked, but I think with the actor you've got playing this role, I think it's very different. If you had maybe a Matt Damon, or I'm trying to think of someone else you could, or even I'm trying to think of someone who, a Tom Cruise even playing this, you cannot play into that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
You know, even a Christian Bale, for instance. But I think when you've got someone like Ryan Gosling, he has played a lot of films where it's just pure emotions.
Yeah, because he can do that. He has the range to do it. He's got the range. Yeah.
But I think in this film, it just works very nicely that there's a nice mix of humor and, you know, the emotions.
Yeah, no, because on that note, I think you're right. It's casted very well because Grace's character is like very affable. Like he's meant to be super likable, very earnest, and you get all of that. Like he's so eager to prove himself, but he constantly doubts himself. Like
he's a teacher.
Yeah, like he's his own worst enemy essentially, and it takes a very, very, very drastic decision by somebody else for him to see what he himself is capable of doing. And I think the light tone fits into that because that's his character.
Yeah.
And I think if it was super dark, super depressing, really sitting in the weight of the emotion of it all, it would have been a harder watch, I feel.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So coming out of the movie then, are you happy as is, or would you do anything to change the movie?
Not immediately.
Okay.
I think if I do watch it again, I might have second one or two thoughts there. There's still a few things I'm not fully grasping about the film, like I'm going to call it an enzyme or stuff, but it might be wrong. The actual,
the bacteria thing.
Bacteria thing. There are a few things on there that maybe could have been broken down, like in a more simple manner. But I think overall, like the way it ends in a very good tone where, once again, I know I could spoil it. Rather than not.
He's really trying to be nice to you.
I know some people might watch this even before actually getting into. So I think just the way it ends, it gives it a good. There's a nice closure to the end of the film. I think you're watching it and you thought, okay, you guys have made whatever sacrifice has been made to ensure that our worlds are good and safe. We've done that, and now they could even carry on from this. I think they actually didn't think much about this, but they've left the film in a good spot that you don't need to do a part two. I don't even know if the books have how long.
I have no idea.
But if they really wanted to carry on this, they could.
Yeah.
You know, so I think at the moment, no, but actually I'm going to put the question to you. Do you think there's anything they could have done?
Not really. I think like you, I'm very pleased with what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think there is a question to be asked about that kind of lack of, I guess, emotional weight to the movie, like we were talking about earlier. I don't know if I needed him to sit there and be depressed for 2 hours. I definitely don't. But I do think it would have been interesting to see how they depicted him really coming to terms with his loneliness, and then also his mortality, because he didn't want to. Obviously, the big point of the film was that he didn't know that he didn't choose to be there. He was forced to be there. So I think initially at the beginning, he's very content with the fact that this is not a return trip for him, and he accepts that quite readily. But when he had all the information on Earth, it was a completely opposite. Reaction. So it would have been. I think I would have enjoyed seeing him coming to terms with that. Or not, but that's just me really nitpicking. Like again, it's been what, an hour since we left the cinema, so
of course.
So I don't think there's anything. Not anything I can think of off the top of my head that
but
needs the
even
major
his relationship with Rocky, that definitely changes if we take a different route with.
That's also true.
The tone of the film, like if we're changing his personality, then that's going to ultimately affect the relationship he has with Rocky in this film. And I think even just parts of the film where Rocky's building a sense of humor and trying to make a joke and explain the joke, you have to scrap all of that.
Yeah, it's true. So it's very, very true. And I think there is like an emotional payoff, because going back to that point on sacrifice, like there's that question that he asked the pilot. He was like, you know, why are you so ready to give up your life? And he's like, you have to find somebody you are willing to sacrifice everything for. And then we see him do that.
Do you
know what I mean? Without a hesitation. Do you know what I mean? So again, there's parts of this, I'm just nitpicking in all honesty, but I do think there is emotional payoff. And this is just such a great film. Like I think as just an enjoyable, immersive, and accessible experience, this has so much going for it. So I don't necessarily feel like it's completely necessary. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Okay, so let's talk about the ending then. You mentioned that earlier. How do you feel about how the movie ended? Like, because obviously like you said, we both thought somebody was going to die. People were going to be dying in this movie. That's kind of what we've grown up watching when we're seeing movies like this, like Saving the Earth and stuff. But the film ends the way it ends. So how did you feel about that?
I think it's funny because the way the film works, and because, well, being in the room, you're completely oblivious to how long you've been in there. So you're not sure roughly when the film's coming to an end. I think there were 1 or 2 scenes that I thought, oh, this is it. This is their goodbye.
Okay, yeah.
And you don't exactly get that. So there was one scene where, okay, maybe collected what we think it is, and oh, a sacrifice is being made here. And we think, oh, okay, cool. Grace is just going to make his way back to Earth, and that's it. And it's like, oh no, there's another part to it. Then it's like, okay, these 2 characters are saying their goodbyes, and that's it. And we're like, oh no.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
So I think it kept me on my feet, on my toes while watching, because I'm like, okay, I know that I'm waiting to see how they're going to make out the ending to this. And I was satisfied with it.
Yeah,
because I mean, I could go. You think this guy? I mean, I'm not spoiling. I'm really
just
trying
spoil
to.
Yeah, just spoil it, man. Just spoil it. It's fine.
And I think it gets to the point where, you know, Grace has made the sacrifice that I'm gonna get this info or all this research back to Earth.
Yeah.
But I have to go back and save Rocky because he needs to save his Earth or his version of Earth.
Well, it's not just that, because Rocky already made a sacrifice for him to get home.
Yes.
Because his trip was going to take 6 years longer because he shared his fuel, right? So there's already a multiple, like you can't, he couldn't leave, that's his boy, but you can't leave your boy who saved your life and leave him to die knowing that you know that he's gonna die, right? So,
but the ending is very satisfying because in the maybe last 3 minutes of the end of the film, you see Grace waking up somewhere and you think, is he back on Earth? Then in a few seconds you realize, oh snap, he's not on Earth. And you're like, he's in Rocky's
planet. Rocky's
planet.
Still
and
teaching.
You think, you know what? Okay, this is even good. But when there's a bit of like, oh, we've got your ship ready
to go home.
I'm like, even better.
And
it's like, do we want to say goodbye now? It's like, no, you can stay a bit longer if you want to. And I think even then just made me think, I'm happy with the way it's ended because these 2 characters are still alive. They've managed to save the respective worlds, but they've left it in a place that he might go back
or not. Or not. He has the option.
And whichever way, he's done his bit on Earth. Well, he doesn't know that, but we saw his bit. And he sure as hell's done his bit to save Rocky's world. And it's like, okay, cool. We could just end this film right here. And I think it was very satisfying because I think even if he ended up dying or both of them, or he didn't make it back to Earth, then you think, he's made a sacrifice, but
at that point he really had made peace with the idea because obviously they talk about it early in the movie and he was like, I was lying, I did not make peace, like, I don't want to die, do you know what I mean? But he goes back to save Rocky, not knowing that Rocky was going to take him back to his home planet. He just like, I gotta go save my boy, and he could die. He had truly made peace with that moment.
A lot of peace with that.
And he kind of was rewarded for it at the end by still doing the thing that he loved to do, which is teach. Right?
Even though it's some alien kids.
I mean, it's a different kind of teaching, but still. I do think it's quite interesting as well, like especially if you compare it, because the interstellar comparisons are gonna be there, right? It's gonna be there. And like when you look at the 2 films and how they end, I think it's so interesting because you see Matthew McConaughey choose to go back into space, searching for Anne Hathaway's character and stuff. And he leaves the safety of like the new Earth that they've got on that ship.
Of course.
And then, in this movie, like Grace is like, he might just chill for a bit. Like he's like I said, he's done his job.
He's done his job. Yeah.
And that for him is enough now. He can just live. Do you know what I mean? Which is so mad. But it's just crazy to see like his story go from just complete isolation to real friendship and a real tangible bond with a rock alien.
I think that's what is key in this film, and I think this is what a lot of films are trying to tell, it's the meaning of purpose. You're finding someone, and you can see that across so many different genres. Like even with Batman, you find Bruce Wayne who is living a life without any meaning because he's lost his parents and he's just doing whatever he wants to do. And I think it's just going back to this, is someone who, like you said, he was teaching and he had a lot of joy from what it seemed like with his kids in school, but he's found that thing that's worth dying for. And that was essentially the storyline with this. And no, I think it was done. It was a really lovely film, man. I'm even thinking about certain parts. There's one scene that comes to mind with the audio mixing where it was absolutely stunning, and you just get this complete silence.
Oh my gosh, it did that quite a few times, and
But
so
that
effective.
one moment,
Yeah.
So
So are you talking about the part where like his head hits the glass and then it just goes?
and for a good minute, you don't even hear one person breathing in the cinema.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what is happening here? The lighting was stunning in that scene, showing the sacrifice that ultimately Rocky had to make in that moment. And you could just see the gradual building up of the sound coming back into play. And as a cameraman, I was just taken away from that.
Because there was a few shots, even in the lead up to that moment, right? Because the contrast is quite crazy because we get to that planet and Grace goes outside and you have that beautiful scene where it's like the green planet in the background. Like they've got the plan, he's gone outside, and then they switch the lighting so you can see the infrared. And all of the like red particles and stuff are just going through. And that it's like I was floating, bro. I was watching, I was like, this is actually stunning. Like you felt like you just felt like you were there. Like it was absolutely incredible. But then they do the plan, get back into the ship, and then you get this chaos that's happening. And then you've got like the way in that moment that you were talking about where Grace's head hits the screen.
He's unconscious,
He's unconscious, but then the lights like flashing and we're seeing Rocky disintegrate, literally disintegrate.
And as the red light keeps flashing in and out, you're getting seconds of him just coming into play. You're seeing the smoke and everything and the chaos that's coming off from this moment. I think I thought it was done brilliantly.
Technically.
And when you think of space and your one source of light is essentially the sun, I think they had a clever way of showing this, that you could still capture the moment and what's going on in the scene with sometimes a little to no lighting, and that moment I think really sticks out to me.
I mean, this movie 2027 Oscars, I need to see nominations.
Do you think it has an impact though, the time the film's released?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we've just seen it, right?
Sinners, true.
Sinners got 4th. Sinners came out in February 2025. It was early.
Wow.
Maybe February, March. I might be guessing it, but it was like February, March. It was early in 2025 that movie came out. So, I think if the film's good, it has staying power, and I think that's what we're starting to see. We're starting to see a resurgence of quality filmmaking that has staying power, that you will remember, that you can go back and rewatch. I think this movie is probably one of them, to be honest.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. So just wrapping this section of the conversation then, is this a movie you would recommend to people?
Absolutely. I think it depends what you're into. Because if you're into gung-ho action, Rambo sort of style, this is not really that film.
It's not.
It's not. But if you love a good storyline that touches a lot of, day-to-day lives of like friendships, like you mentioned, or trust or communication, I think this is something that really sticks. If you're into your sci-fi, you're into your adventure, definitely. Absolutely. And if you just want a good, visually stunning film,
This is that. 100%. 100%. I think this is super easy watching. It's very digestible. It's very accessible. You don't need to worry or think about the technicalities of what you're watching. You can just enjoy it for what it is, which is a very, very good film.
I was going to say, it's probably one of my best visual representations of what space could look like. Then I remembered we've got Avatar.
That's true. But that's different.
That's
different. Yeah, that's a different world completely.
Yeah,
not
but
space.
we're just talking of the visual representation of space.
Yeah.
I think this is right up there.
100%.
Yeah.
You've got the beauty, you've got the isolation, you've got the danger.
Yeah.
All represented.
All together.
Do you know what I mean?
This vortex of,
Cool. Okay, so a couple questions for you now.
Sure.
Sort of about the movie though.
Yeah.
So obviously, Projecgt Hail Mary, we see Grace completely isolated. He picks up his alien friend, and they come together and, you know what I mean, work together to save the world.
Yeah.
Now, if you were Grace, right, and you had to pick a celebrity or an actor to be your Rocky, who would you pick?
Oh.
Bear in mind, it doesn't have to be, it's not necessarily Rocky and what he does in the film, but just somebody who's going to be your companion, exactly.
The first person that came to mind was Sterling K. Brown. I know I mentioned him earlier just because I rate him so much as an actor.
Okay.
I think obviously a lot of his roles, he has that serious emotions and there's so many layers to him as a person. But you think of, he's also funny as well. I think another person that came to mind was Hugh Jackman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would just be an absolute blast being with him in space.
To be fair, you could do a little karaoke. You can watch the classics.
Yeah.
You could do everything and you got Wolverine with you.
Well,
it's not a bad pick.
Someone who can't really die.
It's not a bad pick. That's also true.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Who would you take, actually? I'm quite intrigued to see.
I would pick somebody I just want to be friends with.
Yeah.
So definitely taking the Damson Idris.
Okay.
I feel like we could be boys.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Okay. I get where you're going.
Like, it's got to be like, I feel like me and Michael B will be able to get along quite well. Yeah. Anime guys.
Yeah.
Just sit there and watch anime the whole time. Or someone I could be like proper like nerdy around. So like I like the Hugh Jackman one. Do you know what I mean? Maybe like Kevin Feige, who could just tell me all about Marvel and theories and all this kind of stuff. That was a nice way to wrap up that segment of the conversation. So last question I like to ask everybody who's on here is, if you had to pick one movie or one TV show that everybody has to add to their watch list, what would it be? And I know you're a film and a TV guy, so you can pick one or the other, or both if you got recommendations. Just tell the people.
Okay. One film, one TV people should watch. The thing is, what I want to say might not be everyone's cup of tea.
It's what you think people need to watch. So what you can say it.
I will go for, you know what I'm going to say, or you might not, but I think if I was thinking of a TV show, I've got two in mind.
Okay.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, that's what
I'm a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know you. I thought you were going to say Game of Thrones, to be fair. This guy's the throniest of the thrones, bro.
I think it's a complete different take to what you've seen on House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones. And it just ties in nicely with the timeline, which kind of starts off. There's a void of space in between the end of the House of the Dragon and the events from that, which we haven't seen yet, to roughly when Game of Thrones eventually begins. And I think just seeing that storyline, how it's done, it's very short, it's very light and warm. I think I was very intrigued to see how they're going to bring this. And Arya Parker put that into place, and that was brilliant. I think they did a wonderful job with that. I think I would absolutely recommend that.
No, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, absolute premium elite television.
Yeah. And the last TV show I think I've just recently seen, All Her Fault.
Oh, I like that show too.
I love
that
who's
show
done
too.
It.
Yeah,
I love who's done it.
Yeah,
like, give me a TV show, a film that's all about, there's been a murder mystery, who's gone about, and I think this show was twist and turn. Like, when I got to the end, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, no spoilers on this one, just in case no one sees.
But you always hear that. There's always like, I didn't see that coming. But there's someone's like, nah, I'm definitely going to see that coming. But I can't lie, with this one, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it was.
And I was shook at.
Bro, it was just the levels of
twist and turn.
Yeah. And just the way these characters were moving.
Yeah.
and you get to the end and everything is revealed and you're just like, I was completely dumbfounded. I just couldn't believe that it was written in this way. I really enjoyed all her films.
Those are my two for TV shows. And for film, trying to think, what film have I seen recently? Does it have to be a new film or old film?
It could be any film.
I would say, films wise cinema. I recently saw Goat.
Okay, yeah. I really loved it.
And that was that was fun. I think, so Across the Spider-Verse is one of my films. Animation films is right up there for me, and I think I appreciate the work they did with this. Yeah. It took me back to a bit of like Space Jam. Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of everything.
Yeah, no, I think for that movie just felt like Mike.
Yeah.
It felt like an animated version of Like Mike.
Yes.
And it took me right back to my childhood when I'm watching movies like that, like Cool Runnings, like Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it's like, yo, this feels nice to watch again.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely one of those films that's like kind of an event movie as a kid. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think they make movies like this for kids anymore.
I'm sure there are loads of films out there. I'm sure there are deeper films that I've probably seen recently, but that just stuck to me. Leaving the cinema, I thought, this is nice.
That movie is really, really good.
You know, it takes you back.
Yeah, that's really, really good. All right, cool. Well, Tony, man, thank you very much for jumping onto the Afterwatch. This has been fun. I'm glad we were able to get some time and get this movie in, especially because this is one of those movies that people will be like rewatching, talking about, I think, for a very, very long time. So I wanted to talk to somebody who I knew was going to enjoy it as much as I would. So I really appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure, man. Definitely.
Well, hopefully we'll have you back, man. If the people like you, if you want to come back.
There are a few films, I mean, we were sitting in there and we saw some trailers.
Well, do you know what?
We saw some trailers in there.
That's facts. Because I actually forgot, I had one more question. What's the film you're most looking forward to watching this year?
Where do you go? You've got Spider-Man. You've got
Spider-Man.
Dune. You've got Odyssey.
Yeah.
There are a few more beyond the Spider-Verse.
I think that's next year. It would have been great if it was this year too. I wouldn't be able to mentally take it. You've forgotten a big one, I'll be honest with you.
Doomsday?
Yeah, that's this year.
Oh, that's what I thought you mentioned. No,
it's a Brand New Day, Odyssey, Dune.
Doomsday is there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's one more I'm missing out. There might be one more I'm missing out. But there's
definitely more. There's
a lineup.
Bro.
Even TV shows, there's a lot.
Bro, June onwards, it's looking insane. It's looking insane. This is why I need to spend all my money upgrading my equipment so I can get ready to film for stuff like this.
When those films come out.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, I'm going to be tuned in. Especially like Dune, which I've followed a lot thoroughly. You know, obviously, Marvel, I'm right
obviously,
there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And the Odyssey, Chris Nolan, my guy.
Yeah, you're actually like set for this year. Like you're actually really, really set for this year. No. Spider-Man, I'm really excited to see that. I wanna know who, I can't remember his name now, which is atrocious. But the guy doing the voiceover at the end of the episode, his name is, in fact, I can't remember his name, is really annoying me.
Oh, Spider-Man. In
the Spider-Man trailer, there's the guy who played in The Princess Frog. The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
The Disney movie. The guy who played the voodoo guy.
Oh.
His name is gonna wind me up. Anyway, put it in the comments. You know who I'm talking about. Him.
Yeah.
He was doing the voiceover at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who he's gonna be playing. I'm really interested to see who's gonna be playing. Like we're going to be getting Sadie Sink in this. In this
we saw a bit of Rogue.
We saw what it looks like is Rogue.
Yeah.
We're going to see the Hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, the guy who made this movie did Shang-Chi, so he brought Jackie Chan's stunt team to do all the fight choreography.
Can't wait.
Punishers, but like, come on, bro. What am I supposed to do but spend all my money and time at the cinema? Do you know what I'm saying? It's looking crazy. It's looking crazy. But Tony, man, love for coming on, bro. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
What we'll do, obviously, we'll chop it up, get it out. What I will want to do On that camera, yeah, what I want to do on this camera, I want to take a quick shot, like we'll pose like we're taking a photo, and then I'll try and like use it for like the thumbnail or something. That's the idea. Anyway, so we'll see. So we'll do a 3, 2, 1 quick pose for like 3 seconds.
To that camera,
to this camera. And then go from there.
Okay.
All right, cool. So 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, look, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you very, very much for watching the Afterwatch. I'm your boy Kwame. Follow me on Kwame's Watch List on all platforms. And yeah, I'll be back with another movie to talk about soon. Peace.